What's up, guys? Studfit here. We have episode 22 of Kart Talk in 2022. I am so excited to have many of my good friends joining me here this evening, and happy to share this fun conversation about MIIS, Doctor Tour, everything going on in Mario Kart Tour right now. And I'm excited to introduce. Reintroduce some of our frequent flyers, some of our super studs. So happy to have FrenzyFans, Geeves Mode, and KnightRoso to join us this evening. Welcome, guys.
Hey,
Hey again.
What is up?
And we also have two new guests. Very excited to get them on the show. It's been a long time coming, but give a warm welcome to GODMODE. What's up, GODMODE?
hello, community. Hello.
Happy to have you, man. We'll get into some good stuff as everyone has been entering into the mode this week. And then we have Torchy Torch. What's up, man? How's it going, bud?
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Thanks for having me.
This is not his first time on the internet, but this is the first time on Kart Talk, and we're excited to have him. We have a lot to talk about. In fact, we've out of the questions submitted by the different members, I'd say like 75% of them were about MIIS. So if you don't want to hear about MIIS, go ahead and turn off YouTube right now and watch something else, because we are on the cusp of something big. Next week, we get the gold MIIS suit for those who are of the capturing that tier 80, that coveted tier 80, which unfortunately is might be a small percentage of the population. So we'll kind of get into that versus the question mark / coin box head, whatever, SpongeBob, whatever you want to call him. But that'll be fun too. But before we do, we've got a giant icebreaker. We are coming up on the Versus Tour. Usually the Versus Tour is a little bit forgettable. Not a lot of people like it. But in all intents and purposes of trying to keep this conversation positive, we'll actually frame it up as what team will you join, and then what do you look forward to the most during a Versus Tour. I did give a caveat though. If you're not looking forward to literally anything, what Versus Tour did you not hate the least? And I know it's a double negative, but I purposely did it that way because you're obviously not enjoying the Versus Tour that much. So we'll start with you, Torchy Torch. What team will you be picking? What do you look forward to the most during a Versus Tour?
Yeah, for me, I think I'll probably be going with the Bowser group. And it's no specific reason. I like Bowser a lot. I looked at the roster. I don't really have strong feelings one way or the other, no matter what tour I'm in. And as far as for what I enjoy the most, it's always the giveaways. Like there's always something cool that they build into it, and I remember when Tabor would always talk about it. And boy, did he hate the Versus Tours like every time. But for me, it was they always inflate like what they give away, how they do things. There's always something special. Like people even rag on the Donkey Kong versus Bowser tour, but remember that's when the Rainbow Runner came out. Like there was no new courses, no special character, none of that stuff. But there was that one like really big cart that was like huge in the meta strategy moving forward. So I think there's just like always something to get excited about. And to be honest, for a game that has brought me joy in so many different ways, I'm not going to sit here and rag on a game because they're throwing us a little bit of a curveball. If anything, I enjoy the curveball. And if there are a bunch of people who don't want to play for a little bit and kind of take it easy, that's fine with me.
Well said. Well said. Also, just let the community who doesn't know you a little bit about yourself, where you're calling from, and how you got started in the game.
Yeah, so I'm calling from Northeast Ohio. It's nice because I'm on the East Coast. West Coasters have a little bit of a challenge, especially the time we're recording right now. And how I got started, I actually owe a lot to you, Studfit. Between Sammy D is actually how I found out about your channel. Then your channel, when you started talking about FrenzyFans early on, that's how I met them. And they've been great. Like I feel like I've made so many friends like through this community and people I connect with, especially through the pandemic. We're so used to these meetings going on. It's wonderful to meet people and actually connect like on a personal level. It goes so much past the game. But for me personally, I got connected to the game. I wasn't a day one player. I was a pandemic player. And I relate this game a lot to kind of the other part of my life. I do a lot of fantasy football stuff. I'm a fantasy football consultant for people who want to kind of hire people out to to run their leagues for them. I'm on a Dynasty Fantasy Football podcast that goes out every week. So I actually relate a lot of what I do with fantasy football to Mario Kart Tour, because like there's meta strategy to what goes on in fantasy football that a lot of people don't understand, between statistics and how things work out and different ways to use players. It's very similar with Mario Kart Tour. It's always a different setup, different loadout, depending on what type of driver or skill you're looking to use.
Yeah, it's actually a really good point. It's one of the reasons why we had a fantasy football league as a server. It's kind of, in fantasy football, it's a week-to-week game, right? And you have players that are really hot for a certain period of time, and then they kind of drop off. So in some ways, they kind of like, if you think about like our top 10 and which players which drivers, carts, and gliders to invest in some ways, it's like picking up off the waiver wire and kind of rearranging your team and who you're gonna invest in, etc. So yeah, I can see a lot of similarities there. But regardless, you're not new to podcasting, so happy to have you here this evening. Awesome. GODMODE, welcome, man. If you don't mind, first explain, where you're calling from, how you got started in the game, and actually, you also happen to be kind of the godfather of ER too. So if you want to share maybe the story of what you the olden days, what 2019 or whatever it was, and then then maybe we'll take a break and then we'll go to the icebreaker. But why don't we start to get to know GODMODE?
I'm from Long Beach, California. I'm a day one player. I was really just got off work and I was kind of bored. So I just said, you know what, let me look through the phone. I said, let's type in Mario. I typed it up, but what happened was it wasn't out yet. So I had to wait for the release. So that anyways, the release came, I joined Mario, and then I kind of was thinking of it as the old school Mario Kart where you race. So I didn't really get into the fundamentals of like levels in mini turbos and all that kind of stuff.
Drifting, yeah.
So in drifting, and it sounds funny, but for the first maybe like 2 weeks, I only used Todd in the pipe frame because I was like, you know what, it's a racing game. So anyways, Hakama came out, and it was like one of these things where I realized that points, it's a point system game. So from that point on, it was beautiful. I saw Hakama come around and shoot out a box. And I said, this is really cool. So that's when I kind of really dove into Mario Kart. And then there wasn't really too much going on back then. So I joined Facebook and I joined a couple of groups. And then I ended up, what so ironically happened was I went to YouTube, and back in those days, there wasn't really too many streamers. So I ended up kind of typing in Mario, and I found Hammer Cats. I don't know if you guys remember him, but beautiful. Like, so I ended up watching one of his videos, and I was like, just what I saw was absolutely amazing. It was just beautiful. I saw what the game can be and what you could do in the game, and just how fun the drifting and what he was doing and how he was doing it, and just watching the points rise. And then from that point on, it was like literally learning to ride roller skates again, So
yeah,
I like dove in, and I just pretty much like Neo Bowser tracks were back then. But the game back then was so different because, I mean, tracks back then were 6K double coin, 9K triple coin.
Yeah.
So I pretty much started with just kind of getting into the fundamentals. I learned mini turbos, I learned the strategy, and I just kind of went from there. And then I ended up connecting through Facebook into Discord. And when I joined, I did not know that none of this was even around. I'm kind of old school, so I don't really like dive into the, so I pretty much so I found Discord, and then and then all of a sudden I was flipping through, and then I thought to myself, and then I thought of, I saw ER, and then I saw this whole thing about ER, the race team. And so I thought to myself, you know what, that right there seems pretty cool. but back then it was totally different. I mean, there was no multiplayer. There was no
Oh, yeah.
multiplayer.
No.
Yeah.
Like I said, back in those days, it was so different because it was like watching the masters of the game now grow. I mean, I've watched some of the most beautifulest racers grow that have came through ER and have just watched them just take the game and just, you know, it went from me at some point learning strategy from them.
Wow.
So I joined ER, and, you know, I pretty much from that point on, when I joined, it was like considered a family. There wasn't too many people around back then. I mean, a lot of the people that were there in the beginning aren't there now, of course. I've seen some of the most guys that can crush scores, crush mini turbos, nonstops, come and go. So, you know, that's one of the most genuine things that I think that I've appreciated about being in ER is watching some of these racers that aren't around anymore, like what they like have done and what I've learned through ER is amazing. So from that point on, I just continued to grow. And then I met people through ER. And then I started to build friendships. And I started to realize that the community was actually a really cool place. So I met friends, and I just, from that point on, ER just became a family to me. It was like everybody that was in there was just like my brothers and sisters. So it just seemed like I'm a pandemic player. So, I mean, everything growing from that point on was just, it was amazing how fast it kind of went, you know what I mean? And then now it's what, 2.5, almost 3 years later, and I'm still a part of the clan. I mean, it's, and what I've seen, and I'll say that I'm so proud of ER. I mean, I'm an original member. So, I mean, to watch what's happened over 3 years, I mean, it's an honor. So, you know, to all of the ER racers out there, thank you guys. I mean, it's been an honor, and it's an honor to be a part of the team. It really is. So that's, you know, that's pretty much my ER story. And, you know, I've been there ever since, and everybody that's there it's just family. So I appreciate that. So, you know, that's kind of where the whole ER thing happened for me.
Yes. Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you sharing that. Maybe we'll pivot here into the icebreaker. So what versus team will you pick? What do you look forward to the most during the versus tour?
Well, I'm strictly going for Meowser for the green points. I got nothing. I'm just not a big pink fan, and I don't want to roll 2 weeks collecting pink coins. So I would rather, I like it. Look, pink's awesome, guys. You know, there's lots of guys around here that rock pink shirts. I get it. You know what I mean? But I just, for me, I would rather look at beautiful green coins. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much probably one of the biggest reasons why. I haven't even, to be honest with you, I haven't even looked at the drivers. I don't even know who's on what team. So it's strictly based off points, the token. So that's
it's going to be crazy to that point, because something I hadn't thought about, like in normal tours, like once you're done with, I know with a rally tour, you still have the coins that keep happening throughout the tour, but you can go to a different driver and those special coins aren't around. But how will that work? How will that work for a token pipe where you have to collect 8,000 plus tokens? I can't imagine those tokens just go away. I think they would have to stick around no matter what driver you're using to be able to collect them.
You would think so, because with the amount of tokens that you have to produce now, it's almost like grinding EXP. It's player level. I mean, it's daunting. I still have 7 pipes left. I haven't even collected the cart. I mean, I pretty much have said to myself, I'm going to take it as an aspect because I'm still working on levels. So I said to myself when level 8 hit, it's a nice time to take a good break, you know what I mean, and work on stuff like that. So when they did introduce the pipe, and I've noticed that they've nerfed the green coins this tour, because I'm not getting, I mean, this time last tour, I was done. So as far
last
as
time they had a coin box one, the coins on the tokens on the track. Yeah.
Yes, I was done pretty much the first week of the tour. And you know, for me personally, I love rally tours. Like I do. And I'll tell you why. It's not, you know, I understand why people don't like them. I get it. But one of the biggest reasons for me is the fact that I like having 3 of these maniac bots on my team. It's like, you know what I mean? It's one of the biggest things for me that's like, you know, I'm like, right on, that guy just shot a red shell and it literally,
Not get hit
thank
by the
you.
lightning. Yeah.
So exactly, you get saved with lightning. Of course, you get like matches that aren't too great, but for me, that's one of the biggest pluses for the rally. So
I like it. I like it. Let's get to the other members. I feel like I have to get the FrenzyFans only because I have a sneaky suspicion that Meowser is going to be the team that FrenzyFans guy is going to be on. I'm curious if that's going to have to stay within the family, or if there's going to be a pink versus green in the FrenzyFans house.
So I was kind of hoping that we were going to go last, and I was going to say, well, I'm kind of wishy-washy. I really haven't made up my mind, but since everyone else is picking Meowser, I guess I'll go ahead and do Meowser too.
oh man.
So you're a big fan of Meowser, for those who didn't know. That's no surprise there, right?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with Meowser too, just because I value my marriage.
Good answer. Good answer. What do you guys look forward to the most in a Versus tour?
I really like the special pipes. Usually the special pipes, instead of like coming in on like that Sunday and then leaving on Thursday, they're
oh yeah,
they're there for a longer amount of time. It's a little bit more of part of like your strategy, I guess. And then usually there's like 2 special pipes that have just a lot better like quality, a little bit higher quality items than what we normally get, I guess you could say. Whether that's going to hold true for this one, I don't know. From the trailer, it looks like they're going to be like special coin box pipes where all the drivers are going to be coin boxers. And so if you don't have them at level 8, maybe it'll be worth it. If you do have them level 8, I don't know.
Do you have multiple at level 8?
So I've got Santa Meowser at level 8, and
yeah, I remember leading that train saying we'll probably not get any Santa Meowser pipe until December, and then here we are, May 14th, and dreading that decision. But so sorry if I led you astray.
I had already, I think it was like last tour when he was on Rosalina's Ice World RT. He got that track unlocked at level 8. And I was like, well, he's not going to be coming back in a pipe, or like he's never in any packs or anything. I'm just going to go ahead and like throw the tickets on him. No, I mean, granted, it helped me out that week. It got me the points that I needed to get in order to be able to, you know, place where I needed to. But a whopping 3rd. But yeah, it'll be fun to see what the special pipes are and just kind of have some fun pulling some pipes.
Yeah, awesome. I think there should be some good pipes. FrenzyFans gal.
I'm gonna jump on board with Tim Torchy Torch here. I love all the extras they give you during the Versus tours. I feel like Mario also knows that like Versus tours do get a bit boring, so I feel like that's why they spoil us with like the extra, not swag, but like the extra stuff and the extra special pipes and all the things. So yeah,
we can certainly use a lot of extra stuff all the time, that's for sure. We also have GODMODE, who for at least a week has changed his name to be a little bit more like his good friend GODMODE. Geeves, tell us the movement. What's the GODMODE movement? What's the story there?
I really didn't want it to be a movement. I mean, it was kind of funny. I was on a DM with GODMODE and guys, like, I'm not gonna have time. You know, I was looking at my work schedule and family stuff, and I was like, I'm not gonna really have time to grind much on week 2. And I was like, I'm just gonna, and I had some extra like quick tickets to unlock the tour a little bit sooner. And I was like, I'm just gonna go nuts. I'm gonna work on ranked on week 1, which I usually don't do. I usually don't touch week 2 ranked until it's go. But I'm like, I'm just gonna go, and if someone gets me in their ranked, I'm sorry. So I'm good. And God was like, yeah, do it. And I was like, I'm gonna unleash GODMODE. And he's like, you should change your name to that. And I was like, really? I was like, yeah, do it. So, and then like I saw like what Hero did it, and I saw you do it, and I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah,
Guys are awesome.
frenzy mode, frenzy, like
Yeah,
frenzy
frenzy,
grind.
frenzy
Yeah.
Guys are
grind.
awesome.
So, but before I get to my icebreaker question, I always like to have a little cheers to you guys.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I'm bringing out the good stuff today. You know, the Blantons.
Oh,
So,
okay. We no drinks for the miners. While you cheers.
Oh, sad.
no, KnightRoso. This is iced tea.
Bland's
For sure.
really nice iced tea. Yeah.
But no, I've been, once I found out that KnightRoso was going to be on it, I'm like, I was going to go, and I saw KnightRoso. I'm like, okay, go. I'm going to go. And then I saw GODMODE was going to be on it. I'm like, oh, this is going to be nuts. So, cheers, guys.
Hey, cheers, man. This is gonna be a great episode for sure.
So,
what versus tour? What team we pick, and what do you look forward to the most?
I mean, it's kind of like what GODMODE said. I like having like a team of 3 people protecting me. I like seeing people get lightning and not me.
Yes.
Or like seeing like I don't like getting blue shelled when I'm in 2nd or 3rd place. So that's one of the things. Yeah, I mean, it seems like there's just a lot more stuff. I mean, there's like double the packs. It seems like even like the week 1 and week 2 pipes, there's more high ends, I think, or like maybe sometimes it's 9, I think, sometimes. I could be wrong. But that's about it. I really don't pay attention to who's winning and who's losing. Like, I'm not doing it for the badge. I need the winning badge. In terms of like picking teams, I usually just kind of flip a coin and being like, okay, this one gonna be. Sometimes I'll ask my kid, like last second, what team should I do? Oh, okay, Warrior or Waluigi. Oh, I'll do Waluigi. Okay. For this one, I actually have like a reason to pick my team, which is Meowser, because my Peach is already at level 8, and I could use the extra Meowser to level him up. Because don't you get like a level up with the driver?
Get a dupe.
Yeah.
Super dupe. Yeah.
So and I know FrenzyFans rubbed it into me like, you don't have Bowser maxed out yet? Well, yeah, no, not yet.
Well,
Sorry.
hopefully you'll be one step of 16 or whatever it is to get there.
Yeah.
So kudos to you there. Good answer. KnightRoso, welcome back, man. It's been a while. What's your versus teams that you'll be selecting, and what do you look forward to most on the versus tour?
I'm not sure for the team. I might pull a Frenzy fanboy and decide based on the color. I like pink better. I'll probably go peach. So yeah, let's go peach. And then for what I like most during a versus tour, I used to hate versus tours because the mini map would disappear. If any of you remember that.
Yeah.
I never realized that.
Black though, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
So, but like the first couple, mini map was missing, and I hated it because I didn't realize how much I used it till it was gone.
Yeah.
And they brought it back, and I started liking them. I like the shop. You usually get like a set of high-end tickets in the shop. That's pretty useful. And yeah, I also like the special pipes. There's usually 2, so there's a lot more options. And I love, big tours, but also kind of like smaller tours are nice to kind of like catch up on stuff, and you don't need to do as much with it. So yeah.
Awesome, man. Yeah, for myself, I'm gonna probably go with these guys right here. These Bowsers over my right and left shoulder. But you know what? I love pink. This is probably one of the hardest decisions that I've had to make on a versus tour. But I think I gotta go with my boys here. And then what I'm looking forward to, I mean, to be honest with you, I asked the question just kind of for fun, like, hey, what meal would you want for the rest of your life if you had to pick just one meal? And it's like a lot of guys, it's steak, and I really enjoy steak a lot. But then I was thinking about it, it's like, if I had steak every night, I'd probably get old, probably like a month in. So it's kind of like one of those things. The versus tour is like having, you can't have steak every single tour. You got to have some steak and some chicken and some seafood, some salmon, etc. To switch it up. That's what makes other things more special. So to me, the versus tour is the I don't know, tuna fish. You got to have the tuna fish to enjoy the steak again. So that's my answer there. All right, we are currently in the doctor tour, and we're kind of winding down. We had Dr. ThiisBeChriis on last time, and I got to hear a lot about his experience as a doctor. But one of the reasons I wanted to invite Tim on and Timmy Torch, shout out to Sammy D on Cart Life. He had a Cart Life Healthy Life Challenge, and I've been posting some information on there about my experience. I've given up sweets, and I haven't had it over this tour at all. And I've been running every single day. I did mess up. I did skip a day on Wednesday. I was traveling from Boston to Baltimore, and I wasn't able to get up and get a run. But it doesn't matter if you fall off. It matters is how you get back up, so I think from that perspective, I was hopefully able to encourage some people. But when I was posting that on Wednesday, I think it was Wednesday, maybe Thursday, I saw a post from Tim. So I wanted to have Tim, what does Dr. Tour mean to you, and what's something special you kind of did to hopefully take advantage of this unique challenge from Sammy D?
Yeah, it was great on so many levels, because sometimes people just need a push, a something, someone to say something and to just kind of put it in your ear a little bit. And when Sammy put out that challenge, it was just, number one, I play this game competitively, so I am a competitive person. So when someone puts out a challenge, I always pay attention at least a little bit to start with. But specifically a healthy challenge, and then when I heard you talk about we only get one life, that was just those two things like really resonated with me. They hit me because I just think to myself, when's the last time I went and got a checkup? I actually went to the doctor. And to be completely honest, it's been 15 years, 20 years since I've actually been to a doctor to get like checked out, blood work, all that fun stuff, physical. And I'm no young man anymore. I definitely should be doing that. I have a small child. That my one life is important because me not being around impacts her one life. And it's just it kind of resonated with me. And the big thing I think was important is just I took a step to go to the doctor to get checked out. And that is really what Sammy was putting out there. He doesn't expect people to make like whole life changes that'll stick for long term or anything like that. But can you start making some choices that might become habits to improve your quality of life now? And that was so important. Me just getting checked out, it brought a lot of things to light that I'm like, you know what? I need to start making some real changes, even if I'm taking one step at a time to make those changes. And I'll say the same thing for the mental health side of it. It's just that people during this pandemic, there are so many things mental health wise that people don't even realize are happening. Like just the simple fact that we're so used to sitting in front of a computer talking to screens now and becoming less comfortable talking to people in person is important. But just making sure you're finding healthy outlets for mental health as well as physical health, and you're processing things correctly and you're getting through things correctly, and I'll actually say this game has been a huge part for my mental health, because being able to talk with, have conversations, being allowed to show up on some of FrenzyFans videos has been, and talk with them, with two people that I thoroughly enjoy talking with, and being here now, little thing, people don't realize the impact that they have on you until you say something. So maybe that's kind of the last piece of it I'll say is Studfit and so many people in this room, and then even so many people that might be listening to this, you don't realize the impact you're having on other people until you actually say it. And they don't know the impact they're having on you until you say those words, until you communicate with them and put something out into the universe and say, you are impacting my life in a positive way, and this is why. So thank you, Sammy D. Thank you, Studfit. Thank you, FrenzyFans, and so many other people out there. It's just, I appreciate you all.
Well, thanks for being very vulnerable there and describing that situation. And I'm so glad you mentioned that. I think everyone, I'm in the healthcare field, and one of the things that I always encourage is for someone to have a primary care physician. And if you haven't seen a doctor, I say physician, but doctor. This is Doctor Tour, doctor. If you haven't seen a doctor in 10 years, you probably now's a great time to get a checkup. Worst case scenario, you have a couple days left in this tour, but every time you see in the game, a doctor, just that be a healthy reminder to do something unique, or think that you have one life, and just remind yourself there. For the 1,000, 2,000 people, whoever watches this video, just plant that seed in your mind. It's just yeah, okay, I needed to see a doctor. And just if there's one way to be able to have a lasting impact past this tour, that's one thing that I tossed out there, because we are probably going to get a lot of doctors. We've come out of having a lot of cats, and then a lot of penguins. Now we have a lot of doctors. We're going from this doctor tour to a doctor fest. We have a lot going on, but I wanted to get your thoughts on the capsule skill, guys. And this is where we go into open forum. Is it on par with hammer skill, or is it better or worse, or how would you compare it? And based on what you've used the capsule skill, what do you think about it?
It's a hard pass for me. I can't touch it. I saw it. I can't do it, man.
I don't even think it's as powerful as the hammer. I don't.
No,
I think the range of the hammer, like just the way it's thrown, and it's I don't understand the skill. I don't really get it too much. I mean, I don't think I'll be putting a ticket on it anytime soon.
Well, we're going to have a lot of doctors here soon, it appears. We had kind of this trend of one doctor of a set, or one driver of a set. So penguins, cats, just thinking about them off the top of my head. Seems like 3 have kind of the same skill, and then 1 has a different skill. As we're looking at Doctor Fest and this new Meowser alt and Peach alt that'll be a part of this Versus tour, which of those 2 doctors do you think will have a different skill, and what's your prediction on which skill they'll have?
I think we should start with the Frenzy Fan guy on this one.
Ooh. Put on the spot. You got called out.
I think I know he's got some stuff to say about this one. I'm ready.
PG.
I
Keep
mean,
it PG.
So I'm actually curious. I'm looking at the cats in the game. I thought all the cats had the super bell.
Yeah.
Except for this Meowser.
Except for Meowser.
Oh, but he's not. I mean,
He's a cat.
He's a
right?
feline.
it says Cat Peach, Cat Toad, Cat Mario, Meowser.
I agree with Fred's fanboys. It's a cat, but it's not really.
He's not Cat Meow. He's not Cat Bowser.
So have you ever played 3DS World?
He doesn't have like a pajama suit, like a cat pajama suit that he puts on. Like he's like a legitimate, like different species. That's how, at least how I perceive him. So,
okay, who is in the camp with FrenzyFans that Meowser is not a cat? Put your hands up.
Well, I mean,
Well,
he is
a cat.
He is a cat, but I don't
a cat. Okay.
see him in the same light that I do like Cat Peach
Okay.
and Cat Toad. Like if Cat Mario came out, hopefully not, but if he did and he had
He's coming.
something
He's coming.
not Super Bell, yeah, but
But on the
I don't
flip side of it, if he had Super Bell, would you still call him would you call him a cat? So you're just kind of telling yourself a story to kind of rationalize what's going on.
a bit.
I don't know. I kind of think this is more along the lines of like Tanuki. Like if it's a Tanuki character, they have the super leaf. Like they all have the super leaf, both of them, whatever. I think if it's a doctor, I think there's even like some images from the game where like Bowser, he has like 2 pills like in each hand. He's got a pill in each hand. So I'm under the impression that all of them are going to have the pills.
Okay.
And
I think my personal opinion on that is I think that one is gonna, I'm not sure either or, but I think one's gonna have the pill and the other's gonna have a heart.
Heart.
That's what I'm predicting. A heart.
I can
Hey,
see
that
Peach
makes
having a
sense.
heart.
Doctor,
The doctor.
cardiologist. Yeah, there you go.
I mean, if you look at the glider, I think it has a heart on it. So I mean, that's just kind of my prediction on it. I just don't see 4 pills right off the bat. I see, possibly a heart thrown in there, maybe.
So just in case anyone's wondering, the other day we had Hero of the Skies on one of our videos, and he had this idea of in our reaction video when we look at the tour for the first time, I'm going to have the skill of Dr. Bowser revealed when I pull for him. So in the reaction video,
Oh wow,
I'm going to be
Oh,
pulling for him.
impressive.
And at that moment, when he appears in the pipe, then and only then will I become first aware of what his skill is.
you have some courage.
I like it.
I'm biting my tongue because I know it gets him fired up, but I'm secretly hoping he's a coin box.
3 in 1 tour.
Because Bowser alts with a coin box is exactly what we need more than anything else. Yeah,
Right. And the 3 coin boxes in 1 tour, can you imagine? Like the gold MIIS suit.
Oh my gosh. That would be absolutely
I
nuts.
was actually,
really mad. I love saying it.
I believe that's what Hero was saying, is that he believes it's going to be a coin box. So we'll see.
I would like to think. I would think that I think Peach would have the hearts.
Mhm.
That would make sense.
I don't think Bowser would be a coin box, but I think he's going to be an upper skill, like a lucky 7, boomerang, giant banana, because we all need our potassium.
Well, actually, that's my
Yeah.
thought process is if you remember in this tour, there's a challenge called Take Them Out Quick, and it features DK, and you're trying to hit Bowser, who has, I think, 5 balloons above his head, and you're trying to throw shells at it, some green, some red. And what's he dropping behind him? Big giant bananas most of the time. So I personally think that, if Nintendo wanted to use a tip of the hand, that could be one. But I think that Bowser will be the one with the different skill from the others. Again, assuming that that's the case. And again, what I love is like we all have kind of like little different answers. So we won't all have the same exact answer, which makes for great conversation here. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe the cats are different than the doctors, and maybe they all have the capsule skill. The one thing I'm starting to realize is that the longer this game goes on, the more they're going to have these trends. And so, I think there's a chance we get Mario, Mario Cat and Luigi Cat, Luigi, Cat Mario, before we ever get a DK alt. Like I expect us to really, us get more penguins and more doctors and more cats. And I don't know, man, I see, it seems like that's where the game is going, but who knows?
We get
What do you
Frog
guys
Mario.
think?
Yes,
Frog?
please.
Yeah.
I need that.
Don't forget Frog Mario.
Yeah, he's got to come. Now that we have Dr. Mario and Tanuki
Yeah.
Mario, we got some good ones. Yeah, but that Frogger suit, yeah, man.
And then they'll release some more hop rods for Geeves since he loves them so
Yeah,
much.
He loves the best aesthetic look, right, Geeves?
Don't get me started.
No, yeah, Geeves, you came out with an hashtag unpopular opinion on the hop rods.
I think
The hot take. Get it, hop take?
Unpopular hot take of the hop rods are the ugliest carts, are some of the ugliest carts in the game, and I got an earful about it. That's for sure.
I sent him a big list of uglier carts, so
I think these capsule carts are pretty atrocious.
I said that there's some of the ugliest carts of the game. I mean, the bunny one is probably the top dog on that one.
I love the bunny one. I'll fight you on that.
that's
I like how they have like one ear kind of like twisted and one straight out. I think that part's really cool. And talking about ugly items, while we're on the topic of you, Geeves, ThiisBeChriis asks, did you pull the week 1 Dr. Pipe? And if so, what made you want to? Did you not see how many rubies Geeves wasted on that junk?
I need to know.
Smiley's
I
face,
need to
wink
know how
face.
many rubies.
Well, you're gonna hear the whale side of me as I needed the coins.
Coins are a hot commodity right now.
So, I mean, that's the thing. And then, I'm at a point where I've got almost everything maxed out, so I'm getting a lot of coins now in the pipes, and that was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go for them, and if I don't, if I have to go deep, at least I get the coins. So that's
How many rubies was it?
I mean, it's what?
How many rubies was it?
Oh, I had to empty it. He was like in the second to last one.
Ouch.
Wow.
Oof. And then I'll just, my kid got him in the second pipe, and I wanted to smack him. But
Well, he's got the free to play account, so
Well,
it's
they-
probably a
they-
good thing he did not go all the way to the bottom.
Yeah.
Who else pulled on week one? GODMODE, what was your experience?
He was the last 10. I think he was
Oh.
8. Yeah. But it's normal. I think Nintendo just does it on purpose. I
Yeah.
really think they do.
Probably.
Sometimes it's just for the collection. That's all.
Well, that was the reason for the pull, is just for collection. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't, I don't plan on leveling him up, and I mean, he's not going to go anywhere. I don't see the cart really producing. So it's just for collection, pretty much. Yeah. I would say that.
Yeah, on my tour reaction, I think I just pulled out of habit because I'm used to just pulling on the week one pipe now because we've just had so many great characters in the week one, and I was like, wow, Dr. Mario, got to do it. And then I was like, wait, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? But in the back of my mind, yeah, I was thinking a little bit about coins because coins are tough, man. I haven't even really unlocked tickets yet. And I'm already I'm still like barely. I think I got the Heart Glider in my one of the bottom 3 today. And I'm like, I have like 2,000 coins. What am I gonna do? But I've been buying up as many normals as possible to hopefully try to close those out. So I hope that's the reason why coins are tough. Anyone else on the struggle bus keeping coins in their pocket?
No, I got 150,000.
Whoa!
Oh.
I'm good.
Daddy Warbucks here. All right.
And I know it's not anything compared to like Carlos. Like at one point he had like 1.2 or something, some crazy number like that. But I mean, even he's struggling now. But something Kevin Garrett used to say a lot that has rung true with what's going on with the tier shop is trying to find ways to stop resources from leaking from your account. And that's all I see with the tier shop. Like you're paying an extra 3,000 for each of those high-end tickets. If there's a cap ticket that comes up, it's 20,000. That's just like asking for value to be leaked from your account. And I know I'm not going to be able to take everything right away to level 8. And something even Sammy used to say is that you get more return on your investment if you pull them from the pipe versus just outright buy them. So I'm just trying to make cutoffs where I can, trying to keep tickets around as much as possible. I maybe buy one A-Tour, maybe, but I've been really frugal with my coins, and it's helped out a lot because every now and then I do still have tickets that pop up along that bottom line, and I don't have to worry about not being able to buy them. And I get a value. There's a value return of 3,000 coins every time I wait that little extra time.
So you don't buy any tier, and then do you ever pass up on tickets in your shop if you get it on your daily selects?
No.
Okay. Hey, how you have coins is kudos to you. I'm not good at that.
That's ultimate respect.
Also, real quick, back to the week one pipe.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
So I have an unpopular opinion. I love that glider, the magnifying glass. I know that stuff that you're saying it looks hideous, but I love it.
It's just quirky. That's all.
Yeah, I love it, and I love the name too. Library book. I love the names.
I went into week 2 for the Flyberry because I like the blooper skill. I think that might be something.
Okay. I do like the names. The names were creative. Usually they just do a weak translator and just kind of name it something goofy. But yeah, they both tried on those. I think that they were like, let's do a magnifying glass. Okay, here's what a magnifying glass looks like. Let's put the Dr. Mario little guys in there and call it a day. And I don't know. It's kind of a cop out. We've had so many cool stuff. Like we have the record setter. We got this green sprout. We got some like cool stuff now. And then I don't know. That one just seems a little lackluster to me. But anyone else a big fan of the magnifying glass?
I think it looks cool, but for me, both week 1 and week 2 pipe were like great pipes to pass on and play catch up. I feel like we've been having so many incredible things released lately that like even my Samarario that I went really deep for, he's still at level 1. So I'm using this week kind of to play more like catch up instead of just acquiring more to sit on my shelf.
Yeah, really good point there. The last question I had about the Doctor Tour before we get into the hot topic of the MIIS is where does Coconut Mall rank compared to the other new tracks this year? I'll be honest with you, I've been impressed. What do you guys think?
I'm the same. I think that Coconut Mall, I think the track is set up beautifully. I think that it's just, I mean, it's fun, compared to like a George. You know what I mean? It just, for me, it's the whole track layout, even the scenery for me is just really beautiful. I actually like Coconut Mall. Yeah. It's not often that I love tracks, but I race them and I think they're awesome. I do. I would give them an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
8 out of 10. Who would give it
I would.
higher? Higher, lower? What do you guys
I
think?
would give it definitely like an 8, 9. I mean, it's just the perfect balance because it's like it's still a good challenge with the normal. It's a lot. It's not as crazy as Bowser Castle with a lot going on with Bowser Castle.
Yes, thank you.
Which is
Yes,
still a lot of fun.
it's fun.
But it's a tougher grind I think. This is just a lot of fun, I think. So kudos to the team that did that.
I like that they gave us some top skills. Usually they give us some, Peach Explorer or Toadette Builder Toadette or some kind of like skill driver like that we don't want to use, and they do it on purpose. But like give us the opportunity to use these top skills. So I'm enjoying that. I mean, we have a Kangaroo Yoshi, we have Gold Yoshi, we have Pink Shy Guy, we have Luigi Vacation. There's a lot of options to use between the 3 different variations. So I'm pretty positive. Anyone not like it?
I don't like some aspects of it. I'll still give it like a 7, 8 out of 10. But the first time I played it, I felt like the color scheme was a bit off compared to the original. But I don't really know how to describe it. And also, I know this is a complaint with the Mario Kart 8 version of Coconut Mall. The escalators, they're just big ramps now. I like the escalators. But in the tour version, the cars move, which is a huge plus compared to the 8 Deluxe version. Me and Larry were talking about that, I think.
Oh, they stay still in the 8 Deluxe?
Yeah, and 8 Deluxe is just Shy Guy's just sitting in cars, and it's boring.
One of the best parts of the track.
I know, but they move now. But it still doesn't compare to the original Coconut Mall on the Wii. Like, I think the Coconut Mall on the Wii just has like, with the track and everything in the music, it has a vibe that can't be beat. It can't be beat by almost any other track. But I think they did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I mean, but when you consolidate into just a small mobile game, I mean, it's a dandy, I think.
Yeah, they did a great job, especially it's a mobile game, and it's free, so they did a good job.
So
I think Larry was saying it's like the lighting. It seems like brighter or something like that. There's less detail, kind of like that. And I think like in a mall, like these are not flattering lights. These are like the most spotlights of spotlights. So I don't think anyone's gonna be necessarily looking really great. But I think ultimately he was saying that kind of changes the vibe and makes it less warm and welcoming and a little bit more like some kind of prison jail cell or something, which I can kind of understand where he's coming from there. But good, yeah. Anything else from the Doctor Tour? Anyone did I miss anything? Anything else kind of that as we look back on this Doctor Tour that we'll remember or something that'll stick out?
I think it's interesting. It's not a special, like a supreme special skill, because before we kind of talked tonight, I looked back at the recent tours and just looking back at what we've gotten, like how much premium has been around between Amsterdam, a boomerang, Yoshi Tour, we got a coin boxer, Samurai Tour, we got a boomerang, Me Tour, we got all of the, we got the Me Suit introduction, Los Angeles Tour, that was Luigi Vacation, Wario versus Waluigi. I mean, the hits just kept coming. I'm really curious. Like they gave us a quote unquote break, but like, are we going to pay because we think it's like that? That's kind of the mind part of it that Mario gets you with, is like, are you going to regret taking a break this time? And that's always the struggle. It's that FOMO. You don't want to not have, I think Frenzy Fangirl says it a lot. She's like, I don't want to not have something on top shelf for a rank track. Like, you don't want to be put in that position. What if one of these doctors is like the go-to, like, paywalled driver? And I know you're grinding for triple coin frenzy or whatever if you take it up high, but still, you just, if they go back to like the days where they would really limit what's on top shelf, that could be tough.
Yeah, I think though, if they're gonna offer 3 of this trash skill, and within this, you know, maybe even 4 of them within 2 tours, this is the perfect time to do it, because we literally are running out of tickets like they are like they're on fire. But ultimately, that's a great transition to what it is, the MIIS. I think right now we have, and you know, you kind of brought up the introduction of MIIS. We had a Lucky 7 suit, and now we have a King Boo suit, and then we have, you know, a Boomerang suit through the bronze, and then I mean, ultimately, it's actually pretty crazy to think about how many skills, when you even considering just the MIIS, like, you know, the top skills, we're talking about 4 or 5 right off the bat. And then we have this coin box, which we'll get to here in a second. But KnightRoso, you ask a good question just to whet our appetite for the MIIS. Why don't you ask your question about kind of how many we have and what are your thoughts on them in general?
All right. So I was wondering, how many MIIS suits have you collected thus far? And have you bought any from the MIIS shop? Because for me, I've gotten all the MIIS I can. I have 2 accounts. On my main account, I have all of the MIIS except the Birdo, because I got second both weeks. And the silver, I haven't grinded the ranked, the braces on ranked tracks, and then the gold, because I'm never going to get that from the challenges. But I have everything else. I've spent, you know, like 600 rubies on MIIS in the MIIS shop, because I bought every single one. And on my free-to-play account that I just started, like in, I think like mid-February, I've also spent like 600 rubies, 600 free-to-play rubies on in the MIIS shop.
Wow.
So on my free-to-play, I have every MIIS possible that I can get. I don't have silver, gold, and I don't have the Rosalina or the Birdo, but I have everything else.
How has that affected your rank? Have you felt like you've been using them a lot, or are you just collecting them at this stage?
Am I free-to-play or my main account?
We'll go with main account.
Main account, I never use them.
So free to play, because
Free to play, I use them a lot.
Okay.
Like, I'm winning in ranked by like, I don't know, like 10K every week, because I've taken most of my MIIS just to level 3 on my free to play, so I have the level 3 top shelf.
Wow,
That's cool.
So you're truly believing that these MIIS are like the ultimate trump card when it comes to the base points and everything going in. I just assume, you know, that you committed early on, said, you know, this is my way to get to the top. This is my way, and or is it just for fun?
It's just for fun. I have no clue what's going to happen with these MIIS. Yeah, on my main account, I'm just buying them because I love the MIIS. And on my free to play, I'm just, because I'm only investing in MIIS in my free to play. All my tickets have gone toward the MIIS. So it's just kind of like a project. Like, oh, if I have a new account, invest only in MIIS, what's going to happen? It's just for fun.
Ooh, we'll have to stay tuned on that. Anyone else collect all the MIIS so far?
I have all the MIIS suits, and strictly it's just for the base points. So to be able to take something at, you know, a high level and to raise the base points, because we all understand caps. I mean, they separate giants. I mean, you know what I mean? So, but I want to say something, and I want this to kind of make sense. Okay, so the MIIS suits, the base, you know, we get it, the base points are up there, but I want to remind the community of something. For me personally, I have a crazy feeling with coming up pretty soon, they're going to introduce another cap for regular high ends, because I don't and I think that they'll even it out is what they'll do, because I don't see somebody getting into ranked and having a, you know, crazy base points and then not being able to compete for cups. So in my opinion, I think we're going to have the MIIS suits for a little bit, and I think that we'll take advantage of the base points. But I think eventually coming up, Nintendo's going to introduce a new cap, and then it will just basically even itself out.
But you can't use these cap tickets on these MIIS?
I wouldn't assume that you would.
Wow.
I think that it would just be basic high ends, because I think that they would try to even it out. It's just a guess. But we were like strategizing the other night about it, and it just kind of came up, and the way that it was said just kind of made sense. So if it does come up in the future, I'm not going to be surprised about it at all.
How many tickets do you think it would take to quadruple cap? Like 20, 25?
That's the thing, is because they went from 6 to 7 to 8, and so level wise. So I could see it maybe being 15 caps. I mean 15, yeah, caps just to take it up. Because I don't see Nintendo making it easy. And one thing people need to realize about the game is it's patience is longevity. It's all it is. I mean, that one thing you want will be there eventually. It's just patience is long. So I could see them introducing the cap if they were to introduce 15 caps, I would say, just to get it there.
Like a 4th level. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I kind of see coming in the future. I really do. Because it gives the Mii suits, it's beautiful to have what it has, but I mean, eventually they're just gonna, you know what I mean? So just food for thought, guys.
Okay. All right. So you're throwing some water on the strategy of some cold water on the strategy of just going all in on the Mii's. I don't know what the future will hold, but it does appear like right now the meta for what it's worth is all in on these Mii's. It just keeps going up. Now you guys have said I get all the Mii's. I just assume you just get the ones that are 70 rubies, or do you ever spend to get the 100 in exchange for a Mii?
Ew, no.
Although
That's gross. No.
I did buy the DK one 3 times. I don't know why. It was like as early. I was like, okay. And I think the other thing was, I was in a conversation with Gavin a while ago, and I was like, well, why would you spend 70 rubies on these if you're never going to use them, right away? And another, one thing, if you do, like if you try to pull a high-end driver out of a pipe, I mean, how many rubies do you think you spend doing that? How many pulls? I mean, it's going to take more. You might take 10 pulls, and that's 135. So if you can get like a guaranteed one, like a high-end driver for 70, it's actually not that. It doesn't seem as unreasonable. And then I'll go on and say I have one of each. I did did the DK to 3, because the giant banana is my favorite skill. That was one.
Yeah.
But it's also for the caps. And I'll also even go, I think you were asking me once, are you gonna take the gold Mii straight to 8 triple cap, and are you gonna throw any tickets on? I said no, and I'll tell you why. And it's kind of going off what GODMODE says, is that the whole potential of raising caps to the other ones. So I would actually rather build a foundation of level 8s.
Yes.
Or going in on just this huge OP Coinbox driver that's going to be huge, or this huge driver that's going to be better than anyone else. And also because, if you just want to look at it, basically it's just one driver.
Yes.
It's not,
guys,
have a certain amount of tracks. I would rather have a nice foundation of level 8s, 7s, triple caps than just putting everything on this, thing that everyone's talking about.
So there is one thing though that I think we're all aware of, but we don't really take into account. There's a wild card with the Mii Cup, the first race. Every Mii suit gets top shelf on that, no matter what the course is.
They get bumped up one. So if they're middle, they'll go to the top, right?
So in the Mii Cup for the first race,
you mean that? Yeah.
Every single Mii suit has top shelf, and that's going to change. It's going to every single tour. It's not just the base allocation of races for each one. They are always going to have this extra wild card race.
Which could help for all cup ranking.
Yeah.
Because that you're at least going to use that guy 1+.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see difference in, because everyone's kind of saying they're willing to buy the suit one time for 70 rubies and then not quite make the 100 rupee investment on the other ones. Kind of curious how many people's tunes change next tour when we have a coin box suit come up and they get to save a couple of tickets by saying 270 rubies, which is a little bit over half of a full pipe drain, and you get guaranteed to level 3 already. I'm just curious to see how many people actually make that level of an investment, just being able to take it to 3 without any tickets.
I feel like we're gonna treat this like the special skill MIIS way differently than we do like the base skills or whatever the normal skills are called. Because to that tune, like the only Mii that I've purchased is the Yoshi Mii, and it's just because I love Yoshi and no other reason than that. But if they're like boomerang skills dropping and coin box skills, like I would 100% be buying those every single time that they were available for 70 rupees. But right now, like they don't interest me at all when they're just regular skills.
Has anybody talked about size? I mean, I know that the gold Mii is coming. Is it big? What do people?
I think it's medium.
You think it's
Could be
medium? So would you consider it a good coin box? I mean, would you?
Better than Gold Koopa.
It'll be
Definitely.
like a Hakama.
Would be similar to Gold Koopa, so it's not really big. So I think that's one thing that I'm going to take into consideration. I'm more of like on the angle of like Geeves in that sense, because I can take the gold Mii to 7, excuse me, but that's 14 tickets. You know what I mean? And how many tracks is the gold Mii going to give me? I could take those 14 tickets and I could level up gold bones and I could level up gold boot, which is 2 more. And I would, instead of getting this certain amount of coverage, I would be getting 3740 coverage. So my strategy is a little bit different with that aspect too. I love the gold Mii suit. I don't think that I'm going to go all in on it at first. At least not
Especially
right away.
when it's like, that's a small amount going to be able to get it right away.
Yeah, actually, Torch, you asked some good questions about that. I don't know if you want to pose those now.
Yeah, that's a great segue. I got a couple of them. So my first one was, what if the Coinbox Mii suit is a way to actually help out some of the newer players? I don't think there's as many people in the race to Mii suit as we think, since only whales, dolphins, and very skilled folks are able to really reach that tier 80 on day 1. So I feel the gold Mii suit was supposed to be like a gold obtained over a longer period of time. It wasn't really expected by Nintendo for people just to jump up there. What does the group think?
It kind of like, and I think the way when I heard the question, I was like, oh, that's really kind of smart. It's almost similar to, like the token shop, the token pipe that we have. It's like, I don't think we're supposed to be pulling it all 31 times. I think it's supposed to be there for people to keep having something to do. But like, a certain group of persons are actually going to be pulling it on that many times. But it's kind of like it's dangling out there as to keep people going, to get people excited, and for both of those, we need as many carrots as possible in this game. But I'm curious to hear, like, is from the players who won't get to 80, is this a carrot to them, or do they take it the other way and shove the carrot where it doesn't belong? I mean, how do you see this gold Mii suit if you're not going to be able to get it anytime soon?
I think
I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
no, go for it. Go for it.
No, I think we talked about this the other night too. I think it's just because how many new people are racing Mario Kart? I mean, not everybody is going to reach tier 80. There's still ones at 50 right now, 45. I mean, these new players, not everybody's been playing the game since day 1. So I think it's just Nintendo's way of giving them something to look forward to. Because it's only going to be whales and pretty much, I think, day 1 players for the most part that are going to be collecting it. I mean, at least that I think. And I might not even get it this week because Nintendo, thank you, Nintendo, happened to give me every free-to-play player that has levels that are just there. So I've kind of decided that, because I know the gold me's coming. I've decided this week that, I'm just going to kind of relax because there's so much pressure. I see so much pressure within the racers of just trying, just trying to get there. So I kind of came to the conclusion that, like with what Nintendo did with my ranking, because some of my levels on the Coconut Tea just aren't really that good. So I just kind of said, you know what, this week, it's not really a big deal, even if I don't get it. So I'm even willing to just, and this is the first time it's ever happened to me. Like, so it's like, I'm even willing to say, you know what, this week, it's not a big deal. So you know what, I'll get it next cup, which is only a week away. So this cup strategy with everything, I think I'm just going to kind of just take it easy and know that next week the gold meat will be there. So that's kind of the strategy I'm taking with it. That makes sense.
What were you going to say, Frenzy Fangirl?
Oh, so I was just gonna say that, like, I don't know. I think Mario or Nintendo does like a really, really great job at making sure that there are like tiers that no matter where you're at in the game, you have something to like work for and accomplish and give them money for, essentially, right? So point being, like, I think the gold me suit is incredible for, like, we have this huge, like in content creators, Sammy D and Studfit and all the ER players and Frenzy Fanboy who are like going for the gold me suit. Like, it's this beautiful thing that you guys are working for and it's keeping you guys so engaged. But then, not to speak for Torchy Torch and KnightRoso, but like, I think the three of us are more along the lines of like, we'll get it when we get it, if we ever get it.
Basically, yeah.
But I think it's going to create this really cool, I mean, not divide, but I feel like the game has to shift and like everything gets like totally jumbled up and then we just fall where we fall.
Yeah, like it's created like a little broader diversity of, I don't even know what you want to call it, because I don't want to call it skill, but just like like it's just more diverse of where you are in your story.
Like for me, right, like the past couple of weeks have been a little bit frustrating in the game, only because for the longest time I couldn't get to level 70, and then when all the whales and everybody who's crazy skilled started going up, then I was able to finally reach to 70 because everybody has finally left the 70 tier and made room for me, right? But now I'm in this place like at like 71, 70-ish, where I'm just getting matched up against crazy hard people again. Like my loadouts are not there. And I think it was like last week I was doing the math and using the calculators. And in order to place above 8th place, I had to invest, I think, 15 tickets.
Wow.
And I was like, no, like I'm just going to tear down. So point being, I think like, I feel like there's these stages where like you just kind of have to keep your mental health in check and realize that like, hey, like what is actually driving me in the game? And like right now it's for me, not necessarily taking a back seat, but just kind of like, at least the past 2 weeks, just like hanging out and enjoying it. But I feel like when all these people are going for tier or for the gold me suit, it's going to create another big divide. So then the people in my tier, like I'll eventually be matched up again with more people like Torchy Torch and at my own level. So I'm happy for it.
Okay.
And so do you guys all think that the coin box me is going to be in the me shop? Because do we have any like confirmation that's going to be in the me shop, or could it possibly be like a ranked reward?
Might be.
I don't know.
You're talking about the gold me suit.
Yeah, sorry, like the new coin box me we're getting next door. Like
Cheesehead?
Cheesehead, SpongeBob,
I like SpongeBob.
Marky Mark, yeah. Hey, it could be a rank reward. It could be in the shop. They could do it a brand new way that we've never been exposed to.
Gold pass.
Gold pass, maybe.
Token pipe.
The one thing I'm not counting on is any type of like me pipe. I think people have tossed out the idea of a me pipe, and that may come, maybe in after the anniversary or maybe even in 2023. But I don't think that's going to come anytime. I think this is the way that they have us get access to these new ones. But we've never had like a head version, so I don't know, man. They could release something new that we haven't even thought of yet. Maybe you have to get like 8,000 tokens to get in exchange for it or something. I don't know. Any other thoughts? Good question.
Well, to be honest, if I was Nintendo and I wanted to make as much money as possible, I wouldn't have released this coin box me. What I would have done is I would have waited till like the anniversary and then shoved the gold me suit into like a gold pipe, like non-spotlight with like 6 other gold drivers. And then people would have just been polling for that gold me suit while buffing it all the while. And then a few tours after that, I would have released the coin box me. I said, hey, for those of you who didn't get the gold, here's another coin box me. And then people would have, gotten that. But
You would have pulled an Abbott.
yeah, they would have done exactly that. With the gold
That's the
suit.
Nabbit play in the playbook. That's the Nabbit play.
But I'm kind of wondering where the coin box me is going to go. Is it going to be like the gold and get all the bright buffs and ranked appearances, or is it going to be less and be more of like a poly party timer at Cabo? I don't know. We'll see.
What if they
Time will
put in
tell.
challenges? Imagine that. Premium challenge.
Coming from challenges.
Yeah, premium challenges. Yeah. Something
Oh.
like that.
Yeah, maybe. Torch, you have a good question about the Coinbox me suit.
Yeah. So kind of the follow-up on it is the Coinbox me suit. I have a ton of respect for everybody going for the race to the gold me suit. I get it. It's really fun to watch. Similar to what Sammy's putting out, I wish more people would just talk a little bit more about the path that they had. Frenzy Fanboy, I know you've put out a lot. It's amazing to see like how many tickets you have and how many you've actually had to invest to get where you are. But there are a lot of people fighting for it, and honestly, it's like 90% of the community who won't be there or who can't ever get there because of the tier 80 and how high it is. Do you think this is more of a carrot to the coin box head me suit is more of a carrot to people to say, we see you two, and we're just kind of giving you a carrot because you're not going to get there?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you're really, if what you're really asking is, I mean, are you asking people if they're upset that they're bringing this in because people are working their
Right.
tail off for
Yeah,
it?
that's essentially it. Like, there's so many, there's this small group of people that are going to get it.
No, I mean,
And-
for me, this is just me personally, I believe having this one driver giving like the supreme driver and giving it to whales, dolphins, even if they've, put an effort to it. I mean, it really puts them into like this even higher advantage. And so personally, like when they throw in another coin boxer in there, a coin box me, I said, okay, that's fine. I'll have 2, or so like I don't feel like it diminishes any of my efforts in trying to get to it. So
The value.
if they're trying to be like, okay, well, we see this, we see how this is going to be just a huge advantage for the people that are really, really good already. Let's have something else out there so people can use as well and keep them keep the incentive going for them. I can see it being like that as well.
I think that like most whales, if you want to say that, whales, I think one thing that people need to remember is like me, for example, is that the gold me suit would give me 4 tracks. That's it. Most whales are already going to have a Santa Bowser, a Meowser, a Tuxedo's done. So when you take the value of those drivers and compare it to the gold me suit, most whales are only going to gain maybe 4 tracks off the gold me suit. So my thinking process, once I saw the regular me suit coin box, I was excited for it because the potential of what can come is what I'm kind of looking forward to. Because the gold me suit, the tracks are pretty much already laid out.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I
mean, the counter argument is that every single one of its track is its track because
Right.
of
Yeah,
the base
well-
points.
Base
You know,
points.
you get
Well, I
this
guess
10
that would, yeah.
There is no overlap with the gold me suit.
I guess that
Overlap
would.
does not
I guess
exist
that
with
would
it.
make sense. Yeah.
I'm just saying that that's
other
the
coin
counter
box
argument,
there-
but it's a good point.
Yeah, every other coin box.
No, that's a great. It's a
That's if you
valid
could-
point. It really is.
That's if
I
you could
really
take
love
it to 8 triple cap right off the bat. And I can't, I mean, I can only think of maybe Stanley that can do that. You know,
There's Stanley can do things that no one else
Yeah,
can do.
maybe-
Yeah, no, I'll be taking it to like 7 triple capped.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes out. But yeah, it's gonna be. I mean, it's just a flex to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, I think back to Torch's question is like, is the coin box head, like the SpongeBob head, is that gonna be kind of just like a, oh, here's a consolation prize, like here's like you know, we know that you guys are out there, you're upset, here's a little coin box, and they can go,
Your participation trophy.
participation trophy. Yeah. And they can go 2 different ways. They could go like the, you know, those, maybe give it only those 4 tracks that you're talking about, God mode, and like totally just to mess with us and troll us. But you know, I don't know. They could go that direction, or they could give, you know, have it kind of like a gold me suit light, and kind of just have some of those tracks, but not all of them, or whatever. But I think regardless, this coin box me suit will also have a base points advantage. It will also have obviously coin box. I think there's like a 1% chance it could have anything else other than coin box. It's got to have coin box. But you know, we have like this, like say King Boo suit, right? And it has a nice top skill of Lucky 7. However, you know, because it's like a King Boo and not like gold, bronze, silver, these like colored ones seem to have like more buffs, like a higher ceiling than some of these, you know, driver specific ones. So I don't know where this, you know, scale will line up. Will it be kind of similar and lumped in with the you know, the King Boos and Nabbits, or will it be kind of lumped in with these shiny, very unique, you know, metal colors? I don't know what do you guys think on that? What could
maybe they
do
don't
with
give it any, maybe they don't give it any red coins.
Oh
No.
God, come on.
No, don't tell us
Be
that.
nice.
Come on, man.
Uninstall the game if that happened.
But the thing
Wow.
is, that box character, that box suit, that's got a good hitbox. I mean, I think it's bigger than others.
It's,
That
I
big
mean, 10's
box.
big.
Yeah.
I've said it
know.
before, but I think it's just foreshadowing. Like, I really think, I mean, they only released me suits a little while ago, right? Like, they haven't even been around that long yet. And I do think that me suits are going to be prevalent for a long time. And I think over time, we're going to see multiple, not just 2, but we're going to see, you know, 15, 20 different me suits that have coin box skill. So I think it's just
Oh,
the
wow.
start.
Wow.
I
Wow, that's a
think that
lot.
this is my take. I think that they're gonna start
Yeah.
treating me's like they do regular carrots, like or characters. Like back in the day when Hakama was released, like everybody would go all in on him because he was incredible. And then you get Peach Vacation, you get all these other ones. I think like over the next year and a half, like that's how they're gonna keep the game alive in the me world. So I don't think, like, I don't know. I think we're all stressing about it, but I think it's just gonna be the path forward.
Wow. I haven't seen all the coverage, but does this take some value from Yoshi Gold? Because they kind of came out at around the same time and might have similar tracks. How does
I'm
the
not sure.
gold me suit, you know, kind of steal some thunder from gold? Because I still have my gold Yoshi at, I think, level 2 from pulling him twice. But I've been reluctant. But I know, Geeves, you went all in on him. Like you have him all the way out, right?
On who?
Gold Yoshi.
I took him to 6, but I triple capped. I was trying to hold off as much as I could. But with the Coconut Mall R, I didn't want a boomerang, and I didn't want the time. So and you know, I mean, he get you know, he now has what he has, I think, what, a Sky Garden, I think, and a he's got
some Yoshi value, some good
he got the
Yoshi value.
ones, so
Yeah. He has
uh,
good value.
so
I took-
yeah, it was just I mean I forgot who told me, maybe it was you, Godmode. He's like, he's gonna get to at least 7 anyway. It's just you know, it's just
Oh
depends.
yeah. Yeah.
You know, with the coin box, it's gonna. I mean, he's gonna get there anyway. So I was like,
I don't
Okay.
know how you guys have tickets. I've literally started once I found out that this Golden Me was going to come out. I started saving from that point forward, not spending one single driver ticket since then. And I
Yeah,
still only have 16.
That's the difference between you and me. I have not saved for him. Now, when he comes out, you're gonna crush me with that.
No, but I only have like I only have 16 tickets. Like I don't if I were to take them to 6, you know, I would have not nearly that many. So I don't know. To me, it's like I've been trying to save so hard, and I still like 16 going into this gold Me suit is not enough. And then on top of that, I have a coin box suit, and then still want to catch up on my Yoshi gold, and then I have Volendam right there. It's like, man, you can't take everything to even 6 if you wanted to.
Yeah, I mean,
A bit overwhelming.
You got to pick one.
I don't think I didn't level up Volendam. I didn't level up Samurai. I did level up Pink Shy Guy. I maxed him out. That was just that was stupid. I mean, it was stupid, but it was kind of crazy. It worked out, fortunately, but it was.
I just pulled him a lot. But yeah, no, I mean, like you have to really, you can't, not everyone is going to have the same account. That is for sure. Everyone's going to be pulling and investing differently, which I think, I think in the grand scheme of things, that's really, really important. Kind of going back, the one thing you said, Godmode, that stood out is like when it comes to drivers' cap points, like they're much more influential than kart or glider because of just how the structure of the game. It's so influential to have drivers triple cap.
It's to the next level. I mean, it's literally. I mean, some of the scores that I've seen. I'm in awe. I mean, we're getting up in the 68s, the 69. It's unbelievable, and it's all for a cap. Because I can go on the same driver with a double cap or a triple cap on it, and it's just it's amazing what happens. Mm-hmm. I mean, it unlocks the score for giants. I mean, it's beautiful in my opinion.
Well, FrenzyFan guy, I know you have the great calculator. I know I can plug in, triple uncapping a glider and be like, okay, here's 1,000 points. But I had triple uncap a driver and it goes bonkers. And then like, oh man, I can add like 3,000, 4,000 to my score.
Well, when you think about it, so with the base points, the kart and glider combination equals the same as a driver. So half of your points, right, are coming from your driver level and base points, and then the other half is divvied up between 2 other items. So
pretty crazy to say that. I know we were talking a little bit about Godmode, I think you mentioned, even putting it off a week, or I think FrenzyFan Gal was saying things about, we'll get there eventually, and maybe there'll be kind of a cutoff. ThiisBeChriis asked a great question. He says, could the Gold Me suit be the death of the dolphin / baby whale? Meaning those of us in the 70s who are struggling to get to tier 80 will now be going up against all the people who got to tier 80 and now using this monster driver against them, which could actually box people out of that top 80 that need to get there for the suit. So it's kind of like doubling down on the success there. It's a really, really great question. I know, like Sammy's been mentioning for years now, it'd be great if only the top person from ranked moved up a tier. Like we kind of have a bottleneck where we have so many people all going up these levels together. There's no diversification across the tiers. It seems like everyone's kind of going there together. Could this be a way to solve that, or do you think that this is going to kind of push people down and never get to tier 80, that we're right up against other people that were in tier 80?
I honestly think that Nintendo, with the matching system that they've been doing lately, I think that they're going to start matching players with even players is what I truly believe, because that's been the pattern lately. It just seems like you're kind of getting put up against people in your same division, if that makes sense. So it is going to be an advantage, yeah. But I mean, just hopefully the next 2 tracks that are on the cup, you got better level. That's the only thing you could pretty much pray for. I mean, it's what's going to happen. I mean, we'll see. I mean, everything's going to happen next tour, so it's coming up pretty quick.
I mean, you said it before. I mean, this is it's a chess match on how you want to do everything. And so with every little aspect that's coming. Now you gotta see which, what moves you're gonna do, and
This game,
it's a crazy chess match.
this game is like a master chess match.
Mhm.
Every move that you make, you have to think 3 steps ahead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You literally really do, because it's going to be,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? It's just trying to win. That's all it is. And trying to strategize and figure out the right road to go down. You know what I mean? So
I think it's that we can start seeing patterns and everything, but there's still so much that like we don't know. Like we're talking about like, how is this going to be for people trying to tier up to like level 80? Well, who says that the gold MIIS suit is ever going to be in ranked? It might just be an ACR thing where they strategically don't put its courses in ranked to allow for that divide to get it. And in a year from now, they'll be level 92. So you're 290, it'll all work out again.
Yeah, Nintendo's done so much random crap. No one knows what the hell will happen.
Right.
Like they have a pattern, and you're like, oh, I got it, and then they just break it and start a whole new thing. So
And it's wonderful. I mean,
love
it's really
I think it's great. Keeps it
Uh-huh.
fresh.
Think how boring it would be as content creators if like we didn't have anything to fight about.
Yeah. No, it's weird because we were as soon as level 8 was coming out, we were like, Jesus, we really need someone to like. They got to make this interesting, or I'm gonna quit. You had all these people threatening to quit, and
I was like that.
they were like, and then you know what? I dare anyone to quit right now. Like things are so interesting. They've literally given us everything that we asked or needed. More tickets. More rubies thrown at us. This token pipe. Got these brand new retro courses. The cities are coming back and forth. Man, it's this game is hotter than it's ever been. I personally think though the gold MIIS suit was actually specifically kind of placed when it was as early and as close to level 8 as it was in order to keep players intrigued, and specifically on hanging on the string for these last 2 months. To be like, well, I can't quit now. I'm at tier 70. I gotta keep going, and I think all of this was a secret ploy to keep us during these 2 months, because I know that they know that we're gonna really enjoy this summer and we're gonna enjoy this fall if they could just keep us over this period of time, and that's when they released it. So that's kind of my personal thoughts on
It makes you wonder now, like what's next. I mean, no one talks about what's next after the gold MIIS. I mean.
Yeah, tell us.
Yeah.
Like the DK alt. It's a DK alt.
Don't
It's
say
gonna be
that.
like another year before
Can't say that.
appears.
You're gonna get
If
people
that.
so hyped. Now, I will say, what's interesting is that this Coinbox head, the SpongeBob, he is the first head being released, and so why didn't they do some other head? Then keeping us like thinking, oh well, there's this head. Well, maybe one day we'll have a Coinbox head. It's so weird that they're starting out with Coinbox head. So N2CJN asks if we have an item box this SpongeBob, what other non-characters will get their own suit? And he tosses out Luma, maybe Red Shell, maybe Lightning, maybe they get their own seats too. And what if that opens up new skills to be used as like a driver skill?
Like a POW block head.
Well, what if Red Shell was a skill for a driver? Or what if Lightning was a skill for a driver by making it this head? Just an idea as well. What do you guys think about that?
I never thought about that. Wow.
I don't know how a lightning skill would work. I mean,
You've never had a Lightning Frenzy?
not lightning frenzy, but that's like. I mean, like, isn't like a. I mean, I don't know. I don't
Maybe
know.
a bullet bill head?
Yeah, true.
Well, it would have to be a special skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Type of
What if
head.
they use this to open up special skills to these
Oh.
skills?
So what? Like you get like even a bigger chance of getting a lightning or something, or
Or frenzies at the same frenzy rates as everything else.
Oh, wow.
that's good actually.
Wow.
That's how I read that question. I was like,
Okay.
man,
I wasn't
that's-
reading it. I wasn't reading it like that. Sorry.
The way I was especially reading it that way when you just said what you just said, which is what's next? What's coming this summer? Like, what would be bigger than that? Like, how insanely flipped upside down would the game be at that point?
I mean,
Speaking of upcoming Mii suits, I think in Mario Kart 8, for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has like a ton of Mii suits. I think the only Mario character in that game that the Mii suit isn't in tour yet is Bowser. So
right?
About with a Bowser
Right.
Bowser shell.
that would be out. Yeah, so we might be getting a Bowser suit sometime this summer. I'd bet on that. And then, yeah, I don't know. They're gonna do whatever they want to do. They're doing a cat suit, so they're doing a cat suit, Mii suit,
Yeah.
or something. So
Well, that's a good lead way to Puffy's question.
Oh,
Yeah, Puff.
Hi,
Puffin11 TY7 asks, what has been your favorite Mii so far? Specifically, what do you also think about the newest teaser suit being her favorite driver, Cat Peach / Demon Rat, and how much do you hate it?
she's not bitter.
not at all.
She secretly really likes Cat Peach, but pretends to really hate. In fact, uses the term "demon rat" to describe Cat Peach. But yeah, that seems to be kind of the newest teaser here. Is this this cat suit? What's your favorite Mii suit so far?
I loved the DK Mii suit up until Frenzy Fanboy made the comment that there's a coin box overlap with every single one of its tracks. And I was so salty after he said that.
Like banana potassium salty? Like,
Yeah, because I remember the tour it was released when because at the time that was the unique track for that DK Mii suit where it got buffed. That maybe I think it was like a cup boost or some crazy thing like that. It was boosted in some other way. It wasn't like one of its courses that was actually part of its whole loadout. But I remember taking it to 6. I double capped it, and I was like, oh, that because it was a difference maker for ranked. I got 200 plus actions on that course, like with a double giant banana frenzy and a coin. And I was like, yes, this is going to be the suit that's going to propel my account. And then Frenzy Fanboy just came in with hashtag unpopular opinion, rained on my parade. Made me so sad.
Yeah, he
and now I
It's
don't
what
like
I do.
any of them. Like every time I see a Mii suit, I just think of Frenzy Fanboy. Like, oh, he's gonna say something else, and I can't put a single ticket on him.
Yeah, when he starts something saying when he starts saying, well,
This
you
might-
know,
well, you know,
everything that
know.
comes after that is you're in trouble.
Right.
Well, you know.
it's a raining on your parade moment for sure.
It's the Mario Kart version of we need to talk.
Yeah. Between Frenzy Fanboy and then Kevin Garrett's Mii Hour, where he's like, look, they only have 8 tracks. It makes me so sad. I don't know about anyone else. Like I want to see something that's getting buffed to like 20 tracks or something crazy like that. And they're starting to see more with all these tracks that are introduced. But I mean, they're low. It's low across the board, unless you're one of the special suits, the bronze, the silver, or the gold.
So
Especially since they only get one level up at one track at 3 and one at 6 instead of the normal 2. So that's just 2 tracks less than anything else.
Now to Godmode's point about you do get this Mii Cup boost, so at least you got that going for you, which is nice.
So I may have to stand corrected because it looks like now, and I don't know if this was the case originally, but it looks like Choco Mountain R is a track that he has that doesn't have a coin box.
Okay,
But
okay.
yeah, every other one of this, which I think a lot of people have like dry Bowser at like a really high level, and so would probably be using him there, but
Ninja Shy Guy, I think, is on there.
could be.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right. Maybe Ninja, the regular Ninja Shy Guy has that now. I think you might be right. But yeah, no coin box though. So
Yeah.
at least you got that going for you. Yeah,
I would say, like,
unfortunately,
with aesthetically with the Mii suits, when you ask in terms of favorite ones, because I mean, I don't really pay attention to their coverage because I don't really use them yet. But like aesthetically, you know, as I've been going through ranked and all that, the King Boo suit I think is really it's that's slick. That's a slick looking suit, I think.
My favorites too.
I remember I think it was one of those where it was a ranked reward, and I was like, I'm gonna go all out to get this suit, you know. So I think it's a dynamite looking suit. They did a good job with that one.
I don't have a MIIS suit above level 1 yet, so aesthetically, I like the Rosalina, and then Nabbit.
Nabbit.
I love him, but he has so many Donnie Darko vibes going on that like whenever I'm like racing against him, it just creeps me out because like you just see like the bunny like staring at you like he's like, you know.
I think the Nabbit suit's my favorite, but maybe I did like Donnie Darko. But yeah, no, it's creepy. It's creepy, but I think it's just so cool to just having the bandana flip the other way around, and yeah, I'm a big fan of it.
Like I appreciate him for it. Like it's creepy, but like you gotta love him for it.
It's a love-hate relationship.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Any other favorites you guys want to put out there?
I'm waiting for you to get the Waluigi suit when it comes out.
Oh yeah! Wow! I'm with you, man. I'm with you there. Well, we did have a couple other questions as we're kind of wrapping up the 2 hours. I can't believe we've been almost 2 hours together, guys. ThiisBeChriis says, you know, we've been seeing the return of a lot of original gangster tracks, emoji tracks. Is this something you prefer to see? How does this impact your meta strategy? So, you know, the way, you know, one way you could assess this question is, you know, these are more assumed tracks. These are tracks that are going to be recirculating. But then you also keep getting new ones and keep getting new ones. And so like even something like Sky Garden, you might be missing because even though it's a new track this year, it hasn't been quite as popular given to us as the new Bowser's Castle, or, you know, I don't know. We just keep getting these new tracks. It's really fun to see. But is this something that you really guys enjoy, or how does this impact your meta strategy?
I love it. I love it so much. It's my loadouts and my personal skill has changed so much in the last year. I look at this as like a new personal challenge. Like what is it like for me to play these tracks now versus when I wasn't quite as developed or my loadouts weren't as strong that long ago. And it's so much fun, like seeing or even like the strategy, like looking at these courses, like there's so with your strats of the week and things like that come out. I'm like, oh, I remember doing this, and then actually having enough skill to do some of them now. So it's just nice to kind of look at it in a different lens now versus before.
I'm in the same aspect because it's so nice to go back to these old tracks.
Yeah.
And now I'm saying to myself, why was it so hard to mini turbo this now? It just seems like it's so much more funner.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I love the old tracks. I really do. And I mean, I've watched the growth from level 1s, 2s, 3s. So it's really fun to have decent levels on them now. And it actually just go and really see what they're capable of doing. I actually think that they're awesome that they're bringing them back. I really do. I'm really happy about it. Really.
Yeah, it was like with doing like with Daisy Hill. It's like, wow, GODMODE, you taught me the extra box strategy on Daisy Hills. I didn't know that there was one. You know, so I'm happy as long as they don't have to be around all the time, but as long as they keep bringing them back every now and then, because there's always going to be a new aspect. And I'll go as far as saying with the new stuff that they bring with the the Coconut Mall and Sky Garden and what's next Kuba Cave. I mean, it used to be for a while ago. It's like, okay, I had to make sure everything was at 6 to make sure I can just crush it. Now it's like I'm challenging myself. Okay, let's see if I can do this with a level 1 glider, because it's gonna have the options are gonna they do a good job of giving of making the top shelf stuff that I don't really load up on. And so I was like, okay, I'm using that stupid hop rod on Coconut Mall, or one of the Coconut Malls. I think the T or something. And I'm
I mean,
like,
the
oh,
beautiful hop
The
rod.
beautiful
Yeah.
Sakura hop
Beautiful,
rod.
yeah. That came in
Glorious.
clutch and saved you because it's amazing like
And
that.
it will literally give you
Yeah.
the gold me suit.
but like, because there's so much out there. It's like I'd rather see what I can do just to get by, save my tickets on other stuff that will be more useful in ACR. I love that challenge. I'm like, okay, and a lot of people are doing it. I'm seeing people like, oh, they got one. I think, weren't you using like a level 1 glider or something, or level 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And keeping combos a little bit more harder.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it really keeps you on your toes, and I
Well,
love that.
to me, it's fun. I mean, like, I have fun with the game. So, you know what? I kind of said to myself lately with the new cup tracks and what they're introducing, I've kind of gotten used to having a level 2 cart
Yeah.
or level 3. So at first it was a little upsetting, but now I've just kind of said to myself, you know what? There's nothing wrong with it. Let's just see what we could truly do with a level 2, a level 5 glider, and a level 4 driver. I mean, it's actually pretty fun. I mean, the points are what I want them to be, but you know what I mean? It's still a challenge.
Yeah.
So I accept it. I truly do, and I embrace it. I really do. So level 2s, 3s, gliders, it's okay. I mean, eventually the gap will be filled.
Right.
So it's just patience is longevity kind of thing. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's how I feel with my free-to-play account, because I got to the point where I usually have a top shelf on everything, but it's usually like either a level 1 random high-end driver I have, or a level 3 me suit, and I usually just have like a level 1 to 3 glider and 1 to 3 card if I have a top shelf card at all. So it's really fun to try and just like challenge myself, like, okay, can I non-stop combo this and get a good score with just like a level 1 glider?
I actually think it tightens up my lines, to be honest with you, on other tracks. Because with the low level glider, I'm literally having to bust mini turbos like no tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I mean, when I do eventually get back into a level 7 or 8 glider, it's actually, you realize it, like, you could actually do a lot more with mini turbos than you probably thought. So it's actually
really good point.
It's actually been kind of cool in a sense, for me at least.
Yeah, and I think that's what separates like the really, really great action count are the ones that are getting mini turbos when they don't need it. It's like, because they're not worried about dropping combo, they're worried about getting an extra one in.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to learn where those spots are at. I mean, the spots that you normally probably wouldn't bust a mini turbo, you're going to have to. Yeah. And when you do get a high level glider and you do go back, you're going to do that same mini turbo, and you realize that that's what separates some racers from others, is doing that little stuff, that little tiny stuff,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. The other part of that question I'm kind of seeing is like, we've seen so many tracks that I used to love, but like maybe a year ago, if you would have brought back, Royal Raceway or, Shy Guy Bazaar, I would have said like, whatever. But like right this tour, I'm loving them. Yeah. They're so fun to do again. I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot how awesome this track was. And I think it's because we've been so forced down our throats. The Bowser's Castle and like these newer tracks over and over and over again, which again, I'm welcoming. I love them. But like even the original Bowser's Castle that we have this tour, I'm sure FrenzyFans guy, you're probably loving it. But like that one, it's so refreshing to see these old tracks again. But again, a year ago, it's like, man, we were so over it. But that's because they were giving us new stuff. They were giving us new tracks. So they kept using the same tracks over and over again. So I don't know. Like this is refreshing, and I only see it getting more refreshing as the year goes on.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
KnightRoso, you asked one last question about nicknames.
Yeah, so I was wondering if you guys have any nicknames for drivers we haven't heard before. Like, Rosalina Volendam. I know that we're calling her Rosalina Voldemort. There are a few funny edits of that. And like personally for Rosalina Volendam, she looks like very, very similar to a character from a game I play called Danganronpa version 3. There's a character in it called Kerubi, and so I just call her Kerubi because they look exactly the same. So I'm wondering if you have any FrenzyFans girl. I'm sure you have some that you haven't said yet.
Call her Bad A Rosa, just because I secretly envision her being like the spy where she's like in this little Danish town, but like in her little basket and stuff is like weapons that she's gonna take out the bad guys with.
She's a mercenary.
That's my that's the story I tell myself about her. I love her.
She's cute. Any other fun nicknames for the drivers we haven't heard for? We have to have one for this question mark driver, by the way. I was calling him, you know, Mark just for short, just because it's easier. But like, it's hard to, you know, we've had some people call him question mark, you know, me, and other people have, you know, Q, just the Q, you know, or you know, just the actual question mark itself. I don't know. We have to come up for something fun with that too.
I would call him the Riddler.
Riddler. I like that.
I still like SpongeBob. Cheesehead's good too, though. I like Cheesehead.
I mean, with my football stuff, so.
Any last nicknames before we start to wrap up, guys?
I agree with the first one. I really think it's awesome. I'll just call him Blockhead, something like that. It would just be something that rolls off one day while I'm racing with him. We'll just, I think
still,
that's
yeah, no, for sure. I still think Toilet Paper Mario is still my favorite nickname of all time.
It's the best.
All right, guys, we are wrapping up 2 hours. Guys, that went fast, huh? It always seems to just surprise me how fast it goes. But what we'll do now is we'll take a few moments to let you guys say goodbye to your fans, and also give maybe one piece of advice you would give to a new player. And if you could tie in the MIIS, that'd be great, because that was a big focal point for this specific episode. But what would be a piece of advice you would give to new players? Anyone want to start us out as they say goodbye?
if you're a new player and you're just starting out, my suggestion would be to surround yourself with a couple of good friends that know and have probably been in the game a little bit, and and they can maybe steer you in the right direction. That would be my advice to any new player, because it's an extremely difficult map, but if you can, it is workable. You know what I mean? You just got to find the right way to go. You know what I mean? In my opinion. The MIIS suits, I think with the new player, I think that it probably would be not bad if you want to invest into them, because Lucky Sevens, all the skills are there. So if it is something you do want to invest into, I would say go for it. I mean, and just surround yourself with a bunch of people that know what they're doing or been around the game for just a little bit. And then, they can kind of give you the advice. Put this cart and this driver and this glider, and just kind of like it will shoot you in a direction. And eventually you'll see it kind of just laying out. That would be my suggestion to any new player.
Yeah, I would echo that. I mean, a new player that really wants to, excel in the game, no matter if they're a whale or free to play, gold pass, all that stuff, find the resources.
Yes.
It's not just find the right people is very important, because some people can, who you can connect with and who you can't. But make sure you have a connection to resources. I mean, use the calculator on FrenzyFans, use the tracker. That's what I use. But yeah, it's if you're really trying to get the most value out of the game, that was my history. I'm very lucky that I surrounded myself with amazing people. GODMODE, one of them, use Studfit. So yeah, that's what I would totally recommend.
Yeah, I'll build just on that a little bit more, and it's about enjoying the journey. It's easy as new players coming in, or people who maybe aren't as far along, and just say, man, I wish I could just escalate and be close to tier 80 or be at a certain spot. And for me, the part I've enjoyed most about this game is the journey. I remember the struggles that I had getting to tier 70 when I did. And I was kind of in that fight in the mid 60s, trying to just break through and get close to 70. I remember connecting with different people or finding different people on YouTube. It's so much about just enjoying the journey and not saying I have to, I I have to invest crazy in one certain way, or I have to play something a very certain way. It's so easy to try to do, because you see, I see GODMODE's loadouts that pop up when he tweets them or something like that. And you're like, oh, what if I did that? And just remember, you don't always have to do those things. It's about enjoying the journey and just taking it one step at a time. You don't have to rush it.
Yes.
And I will, one last thing I will say to any new player is that if you truly love the game and it's something that you love doing, patience is longevity.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
Patience is longevity. That one item that you have at 1 or 2 or 3 that you wish that you had there, patience is longevity. There will be that day where you've actually moved on to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
It's just having the right mindset and saying to yourself that, you know what, I love the game, and you know what, just with a little bit of time and a little bit of patience, I'll get there. So just, if anything, just hang tough.
You were going to say the same thing, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that patience, and also don't be afraid of failure if something doesn't work out. I mean, a lot of the stuff you'll see is, you know, oh, everyone's got, oh, look at my gold, look at my 10 pull. I got 3 high ends in it. You know, well, if you saw some of my pipe pulls, friends, it doesn't happen that way. And you know, with you Studfit too. Like,
yeah, man.
yeah.
You know, kind of tying these things together, one of my recommendation would be, and again, I'm sure if you've listened to all 22 episodes, you've heard just about everything, but here's kind of a unique one, and I'm going to kind of use an analogy. You know, currently, well, in my career, I've worked for some organizations that have been around for 20, 30 years, some even longer. And right now I'm with a startup that's, you know, I was maybe employee, I don't know, 30 or something like that. Now we're over like 130. And what's awesome is that anytime I ask anyone in the organization now that I need something or can you help me out, everyone's so willing to help out. Everyone's willing to jump out of their way to be able to help me in what I'm doing in my career. What I think back is these organizations that were around for 20, 30 years, I can't tell you how many times I would send an email or call somebody, wouldn't hear from them for days, or they would either ignore my email. I'm like, you know, there are people that I'm like, why do you work here? Like, you know, how this person not get fired? Like, they're just people that are around that like are not very helpful. And I think to me, my analogy and the point I'm trying to get to is that you know, there are so many things and items in this game that bring me no value whatsoever, but I have them at a high level or something like that. So, you know, I would say that, you know, you get to pick your all-stars. You can pick the pillars of your community. In some ways, you have a fresh start. There's no one that's here and kind of rotting away that's holding you back from getting your job done. I mean, you have a fresh slate. You could pick your favorite items and let those be the pillars of your entire game. So I would just say, you know, there are different things that will help you when it comes to top 10, and maybe that'll help you fill some gaps, but ultimately pick your favorite items. Let those be your pillars and build around those. And so kind of that's step 1. And step 2 is pick your pillars. Step 1, 2, use the resources around you to kind of fill in those gaps. But then 3, I would really just focus in on like the last 6 months of tracks and not get too worried about getting everything or filling everything out. Just, you know, focus on the, you know, Bowser's Castle this year, you know, Sky Garden, Mushroom Gorge, you know, these tracks we've seen these last few months, and really just kind of focus in on those. And you know, you'll get the, you know, Shy Guy Bazaar later. Don't worry about that right now. So that would be my piece of advice, kind of combining all the great things you just said. And hopefully I didn't lose you through that analogy, because it was a little bit of a stretch as it was kind of exiting my head. So I appreciate that, guys. All right, so we got a lot of strategies for new players, but love to hear you guys say goodbye. You know, so GODMODE and Torchy Torch, thanks for joining us tonight. You know, anything you guys want to say to your fans before you head out?
To the community, it's very nice to meet you.
Yeah. I'll just say one more thank you to so many people, Studfit for inviting me on, FrenzyFans for allowing me a platform to be on their channel a little bit. Appreciate you guys so much. And I'm actually, GODMODE, you mentioned the Facebook community. I'm an administrator on a Facebook community, Mario Kart Tour Friends. So there's just so many different platforms and areas. I appreciate you all for giving me something, but just a heartfelt thank you to everyone.
Do we get to hear KnightRoso's advice to new players? Did I miss that one?
No, I haven't gone yet. I was about to go. I think my advice is going to be pretty similar to what I always say: is play the game whatever way brings you joy. You know, I've been playing from day one, past mini dolphins, like gold pass plus now. I could be, if I like made all the meta investments, I probably could be like tier 75. I'm tier 65, struggling a bit, just because I invest in stuff that I love. You know, like I get way more joy out of looking at my 8 triple cap Daisy somewhere, 8 triple cap Satellaview, that beautiful 8 triple cap Wario's mustache. I get way more joy out of that than looking at, it's like me looking at tier 75. So just play the game however you want to play. And also, just like communities are awesome. Just joining them. It's not just about Mario Kart 2, you know, like on Studfits, I got some advice from some people in there. I was talking with Frenzy Fanboy about some life stuff. So this, yeah, join communities, play however you want to play.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for coming back. KnightRoso is wonderful having as we always talk about. You're the prodigy, man. You're just you're such a smart guy and so calm and collected and mature especially for your age. But I would say that even if I didn't know your age, because you truly are a great guy to have on, and I appreciate you coming back. And Geeves, thanks for you coming back too. I know you were you're taking a little hiatus from the YouTubes, but you're back in full force, and appreciate you joining as well. Anything you want to say in the way of goodbye?
Goodbye. I'll see you guys around. I don't know.
Yeah,
no,
I'm sure you will.
I mean, it's you know, I want to give props to KnightRoso. I have to echo what Studfit said. When I saw he was on, I'm like, oh, because I originally said no, I'm not, but I saw KnightRoso, like, sign me up. So, and yeah, GODMODE, you know, it's GODMODE. He's the man. So, and Torchy will maybe help me with my fantasy football team.
It's gonna come at a price.
I do.
Yeah.
No, thank you very much, Tim, for joining us, and I appreciate you sharing your story about, you know, seeing a physician and seeing a doctor and taking this one life you have seriously. That's commendable, and I hope that those listening would maybe think about that as they see these capsules flying around. And GODMODE, you've been, you know, a leader in what we're doing here in ER, and just appreciate everything you've done, and the few VC chats where we've had. Just you know, I think ultimately this community is really, really important, and GODMODE, you know, you were an early friend that I really value your opinion. So thanks for joining us again today. But you know, last but not least, FrenzyFans, I love to hear your advice, and then wrap up the show the usual way that you guys do so well.
Yeah. So I guess I would say, if you guys are brand new, I say this in all areas of my life, but value your sanity over vanity. So like when you join these groups, you are going to see people posting all the scores, right? Like you're going to see everybody shows their highlight reels. And so point being, like, I think it's great that we have platforms where we can share our highlight reels. And so don't look at those as like, oh my gosh, I'm not living up to this. Just set your own goals and pace yourself and stay sane.
Yeah. And remember, no one cares.
Yeah, no one cares.
The famous Frenzy Gal line.
The funny thing is I think I'm probably, out of all of the people here, the one that needs to listen to that advice the most. And like, you tell me that day in and day out over the past month, and I think I'm like the most stubborn about it. So I appreciate the advice. I'm definitely not a new player, and it's something that I definitely need to keep in check. And so kind of along those same lines, but different, is I guess mine is going to be beware the boombox. So like,
fair enough.
Along the lines of seeing people's like really good scores and really good performances, there are so many people that are either A, so friggin' stinking lucky, or B, just insanely skilled, or C, have just an absurd amount of time to be able to get like 1, 2, if not 3 like boombox frenzies. For the past couple tours, like on a couple of these ranked courses, I've been using boomerang drivers, and it is so grueling. Like Coinbox is a blessing. Like it usually doesn't take nearly as long to get like a good run, like a satisfying run that you can be like, okay, like I put in, you know, a good amount of time, whatever that is for you. But just the boombox is like, and the thing is so many people are so very good at it, and I just get really down on myself for just not being able to ever get those. So my advice is, if you do have boomerang drivers, like just play, have fun. If you get a boombox, like icing on the cake. You don't want to work the 8-hour shift just for the icing. Like, it is very grueling. So
Yeah, I don't boombox.
It's way hard.
so, yeah, I think talking with Geeves, I think Geeves is kind of in the same boat.
Yeah.
Avoids it at all costs.
At all costs. It's fun to watch other people get it. I'll get my high from other people's joy or other people's success.
Just make sure to like keep those expectations like
just really low.
Yeah. don't like promise yourself that you're gonna play a track until you get like the 280 actions. Like no, it's just
not gonna happen.
Yeah. So anyway, on that note, thanks everyone for joining, and until the next episode, may the frenzies be forever in your favor.
See you guys later.
Guys.
I